Thank you very much, Speaker. My question is also to the Acting Premier. I'm sure you're very familiar with His Worship Hector McMillan, the Mayor of Trent Hills. He's joining us in the gallery today. He has pancreatic cancer. He has pancreatic cancer, but like one of my constituents who is suffering from breast and brain cancer, OHIP won't fund the potentially life-saving procedure. He said that he has been, quote, essentially murdered and, quote, sentenced to die by the government. And what happened when he spoke out? He was told by the government to sit down and shut up, and now they're threatening to delay his OHIP panel. He was scolded for trying to save his life and for speaking out on behalf of the thousands of Ontarians every year who are candidates for the same potentially life-threatening treatment. Mr. Speaker, we all know that this government doesn't like its critics, but they can really defend trying to muzzle a dying man?
Thank you. Deputy Premier.
To the Minister of Health and Long-Term Care.
Minister of Health, Long-Term Care.
Mayor McMillan, sir, thank you for joining us here today. I want to start by saying how very, very sorry I am that you're facing this diagnosis, this challenge, the biggest challenge of your life, and your family and your loved ones are facing that challenge with you. I also want to say how very sorry I am that you have lost confidence in health care in this province. And it's my job, and I want to do everything I can to restore that confidence, sir. I can't begin to imagine what you're going through, the experience that you've faced yourself and your family, your friends, your loved ones. And, sir, I can only hope that were I to face a similar challenge, that I would demonstrate the courage and the fortitude that you have.
As sensitive as this is, I remind all members that questions are put to the chair and the answers are put to the chair. And also a kind reminder that there are no participation from members in the gallery. Supplementary.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and I appreciate the compassion coming from the Minister of Health, but this is happening far too often. We've seen billions wasted, literally, throughout the healthcare system and other ministries in the government. And at a time when Hector and other people are facing life-threatening diseases, sometimes they may only have a couple of months, it's the healthcare system that we need to work within that has to open up and limit the barriers that he faces. My father died of cancer, and it was the worst 6 months of my life. I know what Hector is going through. I've spent the morning with him. We've spoken many times. I didn't hear that you were going to help him. And I think we have to recognize that we do have two-tiered healthcare in the province, and that it is limiting for people like Hector. He's courageously taking a stand. But I want to know, will you help him? Will you look within your department? Will you make sure he gets that life-saving surgery? And will you help other patients across Ontario who are fundraising for basic health care?
Thank you. Thank you. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am doing absolutely everything I can. It's important, I think, for all of us to understand that difficult decisions such as this are governed by the Health Insurance Act and the associated regulations. I have absolutely no discretion or ability to approve or reject an application that comes forward in that context. To do so would be a violation of that act by myself. I do understand, having spoken with Mayor McMillan, that his prognosis may have, in fact, changed for the better in terms of the staging of his illness. And I believe it's important that as a society, from the bureaucrats to the highest level of clinical experts, that we demonstrate the flexibility that if a condition changes, if a prognosis changes, that we have the ability to provide the appropriate and best course of care in that case. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.